Stop everything. Put your phone down. Cancel your plans. Because what just leaked is being called the most explosive celebrity secret never meant to see daylight. This isn't gossip. This isn't shade. This is a family implosion, so disturbing that insiders are allegedly shaking, lawyers are scrambling, and producers are praying the footage never surfaces. Late last night, a single audio clip surfaced online. Tamar's voice. Unfiltered. Furious. Breaking. She doesn't whisper. She doesn't tease. She says the truth has been buried for years and tonight it ends. One sentence in that clip instantly detonated the internet and cracked open a secret nobody was prepared for. Names dropped. Towanda. Michael. A relationship that was never supposed to be questioned. A child whose origin was allegedly rewritten. And suddenly, decades of strange moments, awkward silences, and protected storylines start making terrifying sense. Fans froze. Blogs went dark. Tweets disappeared as fast as they went up. Someone allegedly sent out cease and desist threats within minutes, which only made the rumors burn hotter. Why silence instead of denial? Then Tamar went live. No glam. No filter. Eyes red. Voice steady in a way that scares you. She said the family everyone sees on TV is a performance, and the real story is too dirty to survive cameras. She claimed she protected the truth for years to protect a child. Not anymore. And when she said, "If they think I don't have receipts, they are mistaken," the screen cut. Because once this story finishes unfolding, nothing. The moment Tamar hit end live, the phone started ringing in places nobody ever sees. Publicists. Lawyers. Network executives, who thought this family saga was safely boxed up and monetized forever. Because what Tamar said wasn't messy reality TV drama. It was an accusation that reframed years of footage into something far more sinister. Insiders immediately started whispering that this was the conversation producers feared most. Not because it would hurt ratings, but because it would force people to ask why certain storylines were always redirected. Why some arguments were edited down to nothing. Why Tamar was repeatedly painted as unstable while others were protected with soft lighting and sympathetic music. Within an hour, an alleged former production assistant leaked DMs claiming Tamar tried to raise red flags seasons ago. According to those messages, Tamar warned that there were family lines being crossed, and that continuing to film without addressing them would blow up in everyone's face. The response she allegedly got was short and chilling. "That's not a story we're telling." Then came the screenshots. Blurry at first. Then clearer. Late-night text exchanges between Towanda and Michael that didn't read like casual in-law conversations. Inside jokes that made no sense. Emotional language that crossed boundaries. One message allegedly read, "I hate when they watch us." Another said, "We'll always know the truth." Fans lost their minds. Old episodes were pulled up like evidence. That one reunion where Tamar walked off set crying. That awkward dinner scene where Towanda snapped at Tamar for asking too many questions. That confessional where Michael went silent when Ashlee was mentioned. Moments that once felt like editing quirks suddenly felt like warning signs. Tamar didn't need to narrate it anymore. The internet did it for her. Then a supposed voice memo surfaced. Tamar again, but calmer, talking to someone she trusted. She said she realized years ago that the family wasn't just hiding dysfunction. They were hiding origin stories. She said she watched lies become normalized because exposing them would destroy too many people at once. She paused in the recording and said something that made listeners sick. "I stayed quiet because I loved the child more than I hated the lie." That line broke something open. People began asking why Ashlee had always seemed on the outskirts. Why she was present, but never centered. Why she disappeared from family events at strange times. Why Tamar was the only one publicly defending her when she posted cryptic messages about feeling erased. Then Ashlee's old posts resurfaced. Vague captions about identity. About being silenced. About truth not needing permission. At the time, fans brushed them off as emotional venting. Now, they read like breadcrumbs. Towanda's silence grew louder by the hour. Her team allegedly drafted 3 different statements and scrapped all of them. One insider claimed she wanted to deny everything outright, but was advised not to because too many people know too much. Another claimed Michael threatened to sue anyone who spoke his name alongside the allegations. That threat didn't stop anything. A self-described family friend went live anonymously, face hidden, voice distorted. They claimed the relationship rumors weren't new. That they'd been whispered about at gatherings for years. That certain relatives refused to leave children alone with certain adults. That Tamar was always the one pushing back, always the one labeled difficult for it. The chat exploded. Then came the alleged confrontation. According to multiple leaks, Tamar and Towanda had a private blow-up just days before the audio surfaced. Voices raised. Doors slammed. Tamar reportedly demanded the truth finally be acknowledged, especially now that Ashlee was grown and asking questions. Towanda allegedly begged her to stop, saying the damage would be irreversible. Tamar's alleged response was cold. So was the lie. That confrontation reportedly ended with Towanda cutting Tamar off completely. Blocking her. Telling family members to do the same. Tamar, isolated again, realized the silence was the answer. So she spoke. Michael still hadn't said a word. That absence became the centerpiece of the chaos. Fans demanded a denial. A statement. Anything. Instead, his accounts went dark. Comments disabled. No lawyers speaking publicly. No friends stepping in to defend him. People noticed. Then a new leak dropped late at night. An alleged email chain between 2 unnamed executives discussing parentage complications and potential legal exposure if narrative control is lost. The email ended with a sentence that sent chills through everyone who read it. We need Tamar contained. That screenshot spread faster than anything before it. By morning, Tamar's name was trending globally. Support poured in. So did accusations. Some called her brave. Others called her bitter. Tamar didn't respond. She didn't need to. The story was running without her now. Towanda finally posted a video. She looked exhausted. Eyes glossy. Voice shaking just enough to sound sincere. She said she was heartbroken and that Tamar was hurting deeply. She denied any inappropriate behavior and said the internet was turning pain into poison. But she never said what people were actually asking. She never explained the messages. She never addressed Ashlee. She never looked into the camera and said, "This is not true." And the internet noticed that too. Then Tamar broke her silence with one sentence posted and deleted within minutes. "You protected the lie. I protected the child." That sentence changed the temperature of everything. Because now the story wasn't about revenge. It was about why so many adults agreed to carry a secret that heavy. And what would happen if Tamar decided she was done protecting anyone else at all. The internet didn't sleep after that sentence. It hunted. People dug through old interviews like archaeologists looking for bones. Every laugh suddenly felt forced. Every pause felt rehearsed. Every time Tamar had been dismissed as doing too much, fans now heard. TikTok exploded. Creators stitched together timelines showing inconsistencies in dates, ages, and appearances. One viral video hit 5 million views in hours, breaking down how certain family events overlapped in ways that shouldn't have been possible if the public story was true. Comment sections turned into war zones. Some begged people to stop. Others demanded more. Tamar still hadn't spoken. Then an alleged private voicemail surfaced. Her voice was softer this time. Exhausted. She said she was tired of being told to think about the brand. Tired of being reminded how much money was on the line whenever she asked uncomfortable questions. She said she watched people choose silence over accountability, because it was easier to live with a lie than to face the fallout. She laughed bitterly and said, "Everybody's brave until the truth costs them something." That voicemail ended with a warning. "If they push me again, I'm done being quiet." Towanda's camp went into damage control. Anonymous sources suddenly popped up defending her character, calling Tamar unstable, emotional, unwell. The familiar playbook. But something was different this time. The public wasn't buying it. They noticed how fast the narrative shifted from denial to discrediting. Michael still said nothing. That silence turned into obsession. People noticed old interviews where he deflected personal questions. Old posts he'd deleted years ago. Even his friends' comments were being analyzed for tone. One former associate unfollowed him overnight. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Then Ashlee's name trended. Someone reposted an old live she'd done years back, crying, saying she felt like she didn't belong anywhere. She said people knew things about her life she wasn't allowed to say out loud. At the time, viewers assumed family drama. Now the comments were flooded with apologies. "I'm sorry we didn't listen." Towanda finally snapped. She posted a longer statement, clearly written by legal counsel. Words like defamatory, false narratives, intent to harm. Still no specifics. Still no direct denial. Just threats wrapped in professionalism. That only fueled the fire. Because minutes later, a supposed cease and desist Tamar received leaked online. The language was aggressive. Demanding silence. Demanding compliance. Demanding she stop, implying familial misconduct. One line stood out. Further disclosures will result in irreversible consequences. Tamar responded by liking a single comment on Instagram before going private. Do it. That like was screenshot everywhere. Then came the confrontation everyone feared. An insider claimed Tamar and Towanda spoke on the phone late that night. No witnesses. Just voices. Tamar allegedly demanded the truth be acknowledged publicly, not for her, but for Ashlee. Towanda allegedly begged her to stop, saying people wouldn't survive the fallout. Tamar reportedly replied, "Neither did the lie." The call ended abruptly. Within hours, Tamar's close friends started unfollowing certain family members. Subtle. Quiet. Loud enough for people watching closely. Then a new bombshell leaked. An alleged recording from years ago. Family meeting. Voices overlapping. Someone saying, "If this ever comes out, the show is done." Another voice, sounding eerily like Towanda's, responding, "Then we make sure it never does." The clip cut off mid-sentence. The internet froze. Nobody confirmed its authenticity. Nobody denied it either. Fans began speculating that Tamar wasn't the only one who knew. That the silence wasn't ignorance. It was agreement. A collective decision to protect something too ugly to confront. Towanda stopped posting. Michael's lawyer finally issued a brief statement saying he denies all allegations and would vigorously defend his name. Still no mention of Ashlee. Still no explanation of the messages. That omission spoke volumes. Then Tamar broke her silence again. One sentence. Posted to her close friend's story. Someone leaked it anyway. I tried to end this privately. They chose public. That was the moment people realized this wasn't spiraling. It was escalating. Because insiders were now saying Tamar had more than messages. She had recordings. And if she released them, there would be no walking it back. No editing. No spin. Just voices, dates, and truths that had been locked away for years. And the only question left was whether the family would finally speak. Or if Tamar would press play. By sunrise, the energy shifted from speculation to fear. Not fan fear. Industry fear. Because behind the scenes, people weren't asking if Tamar was telling the truth anymore. They were asking how much she had, how far back it went, and who else would get burned if it surfaced. A producer anonymously admitted in a now-deleted post that this was always the nightmare scenario. They said there were rules about what could be filmed and what could never even be discussed in production meetings. Certain names triggered immediate shutdowns. Certain topics were labeled unsafe. Tamar, according to them, violated the unspoken agreement the moment she stopped playing her role. Then the leaks turned surgical. A folder appeared online for less than 10 minutes before being wiped. People who saw it swear it contained audio files labeled by year. Short clips. Long clips. Arguments. Crying. Someone pleading, please don't say this out loud. Someone else replying, it's already true whether we say it or not. No one could confirm if Tamar was the source. But no one could confirm she wasn't. Towanda's inner circle reportedly fractured overnight. One longtime friend unfollowed her and posted a cryptic message about truth eventually demanding rent. Another quietly liked a tweet supporting Tamar, then deleted their entire account. These weren't random fans. These were people who had been there. Michael's silence finally broke, and it made everything worse. His statement was cold. Legal. Carefully worded. He denied wrongdoing and accused Tamar of weaponizing family trauma. No apology. No empathy. No mention of Ashlee as a person. Only as a legal liability. That omission detonated the last shred of goodwill he had online. Ashlee's closest friend then did what nobody expected. She spoke. In a shaky live stream, she didn't confirm any allegations. She didn't name names. She just said Ashlee had been asking questions since she was young and kept being told to stop. That every time she pushed, someone reminded her of what she'd lose. That Tamar was the only adult who never told her to shut up. The chat flooded with heartbreak emojis. Towanda reportedly tried to intervene, allegedly asking the friend to take the video down. It stayed up. Then Tamar resurfaced. Not with drama. Not with rage. With a kind of calm that scared people more than yelling ever could. She posted a photo of herself sitting alone, captioned with 6 words. I'm done carrying secrets alone. Minutes later, she went offline again. Behind the scenes, panic spread. One insider claimed emergency meetings were held to discuss containment. Another said someone offered Tamar a 7-figure deal to stay silent. Another said lawyers warned her releasing recordings could destroy multiple families, not just one. Tamar allegedly replied with a question. Who was protecting the kid? That response leaked too. Towanda finally attempted a live appearance, but cut it short after comments flooded in faster than moderators could block them. People weren't asking for explanations anymore. They were asking for honesty. Direct. Unfiltered. Unprotected. She ended the stream abruptly. Then the final leak of the night hit. A short audio clip. No context. No intro. Just Tamar's voice, steady and resolute. I begged y'all to tell the truth with me. You chose silence. So don't panic now that it's loud. The clip ended with a click. No follow-up. No clarification. Just that. The internet went silent for a full minute. Because that wasn't a threat. That was a countdown. People realized Tamar wasn't spiraling. She wasn't lashing out. She was methodical. She'd tried every private door. Every family conversation. Every quiet solution. And each time, she'd been dismissed, minimized, painted unstable. Now the narrative had flipped. She wasn't the problem. She was the witness. And witnesses don't stay quiet forever. By morning, hashtags shifted from speculation to anticipation. Not, is this true, but when will it drop? Fans braced for impact. Critics went quiet. Allies spoke cautiously. Everyone understood the same thing at once. If Tamar releases everything, there will be no redemption arc. No reunion episode. No fixing this with time and therapy and PR. Because once the truth is heard in real voices, with real dates and real emotion, it stops being gossip. It becomes history. And the scariest part. Tamar still hasn't pressed play. Which means she's deciding whether the world deserves to hear it. Or whether the family deserves one last chance to speak first. If you've made it this far, understand something very clearly. You are watching a story unfold in real time, that people are actively trying to shut down. This isn't one of those clips you casually scroll past and forget tomorrow. This is the kind of moment people later say, I was there when it started. And if you blink, if you click away, you will miss the drop that changes everything. Right now, conversations are happening behind closed doors. Phones are ringing. Decisions are being made about what gets exposed and what stays buried forever. And the only reason this story is still breathing is because people like you are paying attention. So don't just watch. Lock in. Like this video, so it doesn't disappear into the algorithm void. Your engagement keeps this conversation alive when silence is exactly what certain people are hoping for. Comment what you think Tamar is really sitting on, because your voice adds pressure, and pressure forces truth into the light. And subscribe immediately. Not later. Not, I'll come back. Because when the next leak drops, when that button finally gets pressed, it won't come with a warning. It won't be slow. It won't be gentle. And only the people already tapped in will see it as it happens. This isn't about picking sides anymore. It's about witnessing history as it cracks open. If you leave now, you'll be catching up through rumors and rewrites. If you stay, you'll see it unfold raw, unfiltered, and first. Stay ready. Stay watching. Because the loudest truth hasn't been released yet.